Kamala Harris vs. Elon Musk, the 2025 X feud over Tesla's tax breaks in 2025, a high-profile feud between Vice President Kamala Harris and Tesla CEO Elon Musk erupted on the social media platform X, centered on proposed cuts to electric vehicle (EV) tax breaks and broader green energy policies. This clash, rooted in ideological differences and economic stakes, has sparked intense debates about the future of clean energy, California's economy, and Harris's political ambitions, including speculation about her potential run for California governor in 2026. The feud highlights the intersection of technology, politics, and public policy, with Musk's outspoken critiques on X amplifying the conflict and shaping public perception. This analysis delves into the origins of the feud, its economic and political implications, and the broader discourse on X, providing a nuanced perspective on this tech politics drama. Origins of the feud, green energy policies and Tesla's tax breaks. Kamala Harris's green energy agenda. Kamala Harris has long positioned herself as a champion of progressive policies, particularly on climate change and green energy. As vice president, Harris has advocated for the continuation and expansion of federal incentives for electric vehicles, renewable energy, and EV charging infrastructure, building on the Biden administration's investments through the Inflation Reduction Act, IRA. In 2025, with the political landscape shifting under a new administration, Harris has doubled down on her commitment to green energy, emphasizing its role in combating climate change and creating jobs, particularly in states like California, where clean energy industries are a significant economic driver. Harris's push for green energy policies includes maintaining the $7,500 federal tax credit for EV buyers, which has been a cornerstone of Tesla's market success, as well as subsidies for battery manufacturing and EV charging stations. These policies align with California's ambitious climate goals, including its mandate for 100% zero-emission vehicle sales by 2035. Harris's advocacy reflects her alignment with California's progressive electorate, which could bolster her rumored gubernatorial campaign in 2026, following Gavin Newsom's term-limited exit. Elon Musk's stance and X outbursts. Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, and owner of X, has historically had a complex relationship with government subsidies. While Tesla has benefited significantly from federal and state incentives, estimated at $38 billion in government contracts, loans, subsidies, and tax credits over the years, Musk has publicly criticized subsidies, arguing they distort markets and benefit competitors more than Tesla. In 2025, however, Musk's rhetoric on X took a sharp turn when the Trump administration, with which he had a tumultuous relationship, proposed slashing EV tax credits and other clean energy incentives as part of a broader tax and spending bill, dubbed the Big, Beautiful Bill. Musk's opposition to the bill was vocal and unfiltered, with posts on X calling it a disgusting abomination and criticizing its mountain of disgusting pork, wasteful spending. He argued that while he opposed subsidies in principle, the selective removal of EV incentives while preserving oil and gas subsidies was unfair and detrimental to Tesla's interests. Musk's posts, amplified by his 200 million-plus followers on X, framed the cuts as a betrayal of innovation and a threat to America's energy future, igniting a public feud with Harris, who became a focal point for his critiques due to her vocal defense of green energy policies. 1.3 The catalyst. Trump's policy shift. The feud was catalyzed by the Trump administration's pivot away from clean energy support, a stark contrast to the Biden-Harris administration's priorities. The House-passed bill in 2025 eliminated the $7,500 EV tax credit, phased out subsidies for battery factories and lithium refineries, and ended federal funding for EV charging stations. These measures were seen as a direct challenge to Tesla's business model, which relies on consumer demand for EVs and a robust charging infrastructure. Trump's public statement suggested that Musk's opposition stemmed from personal financial interests, claiming Musk went crazy after the EV mandate was targeted, despite Musk's prior knowledge of Trump's intentions. Harris, as a prominent figure associated with the previous administration's green energy policies, became a lightning rod for Musk's frustration. Although she was no longer in a position to directly influence federal policy in 2025, her public statements defending EV incentives and her ties to California's clean energy ecosystem made her a target for Musk's X-rants. Musk's posts, including one calling Harris an extinctionist for her comments on climate-related anxieties among young people, escalated the personal and political dimensions of the feud. Economic impacts on California. Tesla's role in California's economy. California, home to Tesla's original factory in Fremont and a significant portion of its workforce, is a critical hub for the EV industry. Tesla's presence has driven job creation, innovation, and economic growth in the state, with the company contributing billions to California's GDP. The Fremont factory alone employs thousands of workers and supports a network of suppliers and related industries. The state's clean energy policies, including its zero-emission vehicle (ZEV) program and clean air credits, have been instrumental in Tesla's success, allowing the company to sell credits to other automakers who fail to meet California's stringent emission standards. The proposed federal cuts to EV tax credits and charging infrastructure funding threaten California's economy in several ways. Reduced consumer demand. The elimination of the $7,500 tax credit could dampen consumer demand for EVs, impacting Tesla's sales and, by extension, its manufacturing operations in California. Analysts estimate a potential $1.2 billion hit to Tesla's annual profits. Job losses. A slowdown in Tesla's growth could lead to layoffs or reduced hiring, affecting California's labor market. The ripple effects could impact suppliers, logistics, and service industries tied to Tesla's ecosystem, charging infrastructure. The loss of federal funding for EV charging stations could hinder California's goal of expanding its charging network, potentially slowing EV adoption and affecting Tesla's market dominance. 2.2 Broader implications for green energy. California's economy is heavily invested in the green energy sector, with billions in state and federal funding supporting renewable energy, battery storage, and EV infrastructure. The state's leadership in clean energy has attracted companies like Tesla, Rivian, and Lucid, fostering innovation and job creation. The proposed federal cuts, however, could undermine these efforts, potentially shifting investment to other states or countries with more favorable policies. For example, China's continued support for EV manufacturing could draw investment away from California if federal incentives disappear. Harris's advocacy for green energy aligns with California's economic interests, as the state stands to lose significant economic benefits if federal support wanes. Her public defense of EV incentives has positioned her as a protector of California's clean energy economy, potentially strengthening her appeal among voters as she eyes a gubernatorial run. 2.3 Musk's relocation threats. Musk's dissatisfaction with California's regulatory environment is well documented. In recent years, he has criticized the state's progressive policies, including its environmental regulations and labor laws, and moved Tesla's headquarters to Texas, In the context of the 2025 feud, Musk has hinted at further reducing Tesla's footprint in California if federal and state policies continue to clash with his business interests. Such a move would be a significant blow to California's economy, given Tesla's role as a major employer and economic driver. However, Musk's threats must be viewed critically. Tesla's Fremont factory remains a cornerstone of its global operations, and relocating production entirely would be logistically and financially challenging. Moreover, California's large EV market and supportive policies continue to make it a strategic location for Tesla, despite Musk's public grievances. Political ramifications. Harris's gubernatorial ambitions. Speculation about Harris's governor run with California Governor Gavin Newsom term limited in 2026. Speculation about Kamala Harris's political future has intensified. Her prominent role in the Biden administration and her ties to California make her a strong contender for the governor's seat. Harris's advocacy for green energy and her defense of EV incentives resonate with California's progressive electorate, which prioritizes climate action and economic innovation. The feud with Musk, while contentious, could bolster her image as a principled leader standing up to powerful corporate interests. On X, debates about Harris's potential gubernatorial run have been polarized. Supporters argue that her experience as vice president and her alignment with California's climate goals make her an ideal candidate. Critics, including Musk and his followers, have accused her of pushing a radical left agenda that could harm businesses like Tesla. Musk's posts, such as his claim that a Harris victory would turn the U.S. into a far worse version of California, have fueled these debates, framing her as a symbol of overregulation and government overreach. Musk's role as a political influencer has grown significantly since his acquisition of X in 2022. With over 200 million followers, his posts shape public discourse and amplify his critiques of political figures like Harris. His support for Donald Trump in the 2024 election, including a reported $288 million in campaign contributions, underscores his ability to sway political narratives. However, his falling out with Trump over the EV tax credit cuts has complicated his political alliances, making his attacks on Harris a focal point of his broader frustration with the political establishment. Musk's X posts have also drawn criticism for spreading misinformation and inflammatory rhetoric. His 2024 post depicting Harris as a communist dictator, and his comments on gender and political participation sparked backlash, with some accusing him of promoting divisive and misogynistic content. These posts have fueled X debates about Harris's leadership and Musk's credibility, with users divided along ideological lines. Harris's response and political strategy. Harris's campaign team has not shied away from engaging Musk on his own platform. In 2024, the Harris-Walz campaign labeled Musk and Trump self-obsessed rich guys, who prioritize personal gain over the middle class, a message that resonated with millions on X, In 2025, Harris has continued to use X to defend her green energy stance, framing Musk's attacks as a distraction from the broader need to address climate change and support American innovation. Her strategy appears to balance appealing to progressive voters while countering Musk's narrative without alienating moderate business interests. The X debates, public discourse and polarization. Musk's X platform as a battleground. X has become the primary arena for the Harris-Musk feud, with Musk leveraging his platform to amplify his critiques and rally support. His posts, often provocative and unfiltered, have generated millions of views, shaping public perception of the EV tax credit debate and Harris's political future. For example, his June 2025 posts criticizing the big, beautiful bill and accusing Harris of supporting a Kamala machine that would lead to severe censorship sparked thousands of responses, ranging from fervent support to sharp condemnation. The X algorithm, which some reports suggest favors conservative voices, has amplified Musk's posts, ensuring they reach a wide audience. This has led to accusations of bias, with Harris supporters arguing that X's platform dynamics unfairly disadvantage progressive voices. Community notes: X's crowdsourced fact-checking feature has occasionally corrected Musk's claims, but their impact is limited compared to the reach of his posts. Public sentiment on XX debates about the feud reflect broader ideological divides. Supporters of Musk argue that his opposition to EV tax credit cuts is principled, protecting Tesla's innovation and America's energy independence. They view Harris's green energy policies as government overreach that burdens businesses with regulations. Conversely, Harris supporters defend her as a forward-thinking leader who prioritizes climate action and economic equity, accusing Musk of hypocrisy given Tesla's reliance on government support. Key themes in X debates include economic impact. Users debate the merits of EV tax credits, with some arguing they artificially prop up the market, while others emphasize their role in driving EV adoption and job creation. Harris's leadership. Speculation about Harris's gubernatorial run has led to discussions about her record as vice president and her ability to lead California. Supporters highlight her climate advocacy, while critics echo Musk's claims of a radical left agenda. Musk's credibility. Musk's political flip-flops, from supporting Democrats to endorsing Trump, have led to accusations of opportunism. His inflammatory posts, including those targeting Harris's gender and ideology, have alienated some users while galvanizing others. Misinformation and polarization. The feud has also highlighted the challenges of misinformation on X. Musk's posts, such as the AI-generated image of Harris as a communist, have been criticized for spreading false narratives. While some users dismiss these as satire, Their viral spread, often garnering tens of millions of views, underscores the platform's role in amplifying divisive content. Harris's team has countered by emphasizing her record and policy goals, but the polarized nature of X makes it challenging to bridge the gap between competing narratives. Critical analysis. Beyond the headlines 5.1 Musk's contradictions. Musk's public stance against subsidies is at odds with Tesla's history of benefiting from government support. The company's growth was fueled by federal loans, tax credits, and California's clean air credits, which Musk has downplayed or criticized when it suits his narrative. His 2025 opposition to EV tax credit cuts appears driven more by Tesla's financial interests than a coherent ideological position, as the cuts would disproportionately harm Tesla's competitors but still impact its bottom line. Musk's X rants also reflect a broader pattern of using his platform to shape public opinion while deflecting scrutiny. By framing Harris as an extinctionist or a communist, he taps into conservative talking points, rallying his base but alienating moderates and progressives who see his rhetoric as inflammatory and hypocritical. Point 5. 2. Harris's political calculus. Harris's defense of green energy policies is both a policy priority and a strategic move to position herself as a leader for California's future. Her alignment with the state's climate goals and her willingness to confront Musk directly appeal to progressive voters, who will be crucial in a 2026 gubernatorial primary. However, her association with the Biden administration's mixed record on inflation and economic challenges could be a liability, especially if Musk's critiques gain traction among moderate voters. Harris's engagement on X, while limited compared to Musk's, shows an understanding of the platform's importance in shaping public discourse. By framing Musk as part of a privileged elite, she seeks to neutralize his influence while appealing to working-class voters, a strategy that proved effective in her 2024 campaign ads. Point 5. 3. The role of California. California's unique position as a leader in clean energy and a battleground for political ambition amplifies the stakes of the Harris-Musk feud. The state's economy, heavily reliant on green industries, faces risks from federal policy shifts, but it also benefits from its robust state-level incentives and regulatory framework. Harris's potential gubernatorial run could hinge on her ability to leverage California's climate leadership to counter Musk's narrative and appeal to voters across the political spectrum. Conclusion. The future of the feud. The 2025 feud between Kamala Harris and Elon Musk over Tesla's tax breaks is a microcosm of broader tensions in American politics. The clash between innovation and regulation, corporate influence and public policy, and progressive ideals versus libertarian critiques. Harris's advocacy for green energy positions her as a defender of California's economic and environmental priorities, while Musk's X rants highlight his outsized influence and willingness to challenge the political establishment. The feud's impact on California's economy, Harris's political future, and the national discourse on clean energy will depend on how both figures navigate the evolving political landscape. On X, the debates will likely continue to polarize, with Musk's platform amplifying both his critiques and Harris's responses. As California approaches the 2026 gubernatorial election, the feud could shape voter perceptions of Harris's leadership and Musk's role as a political influencer. For now, the clash underscores the high stakes of tech politics drama in an era where social media, economic policy, and personal ambition collide.